Hello everyone and welcome to another high elo game of Age of Empires. Today the hills are alive with the sounds of dead camels and horses as the Viper, playing as the Saracens in yellow, gets ready to take on MbL, playing as the Tatars in blue. Now while the players herd their herdables, explore their immediate surroundings and try to go up to Feudal Age as soon as possible, why don't we take a look at the Civ matchup we'll be watching today. Now the Saracens are a civilization whose strong market can be used to gain an early to mid-game advantage over their opponents. To start with, their markets only cost 75 wood compared to the usual 175, and their commodity trading fee is fixed from the very beginning of the game at 5%, which is significantly lower than the 30% that other civilizations have to pay when they, for example, buy food earlier on. Now, using this economic advantage, the Saracens can field quite a hard-hitting, tanky army. Their foot archers come with an attack bonus against buildings, which makes Saracen Feudal Age aggression pretty scary. Their camel units come with 25% more HP. Their trebs, their mangonels, their onagers can all be upgraded to increase their attack. And their unique unit, the Mameluke, is a ranged melee camel unit that comes with a big attack bonus against cavalry. Now, as sometimes does happen in this game, perhaps after a big battle, as I hope we'll get to see, Saracen units do get injured. Their HP decreases. The Saracens can now upgrade their monks to passively automatically heal all, and I mean all, units within a 5-tile radius. Oh, a little bit invested in this boar pull, this javelina pull. Let's see. I'm not too sure why. For some reason, my eyes got very fixated on this one pull as the Viper's villager takes a little bit of a poke in the ass, but does manage to get underneath the town center at the end of the day. It looks like we've got another javelina pull in the works here for our Tatar. Speaking of the Tatars, a civilization that does whatever it can to push you towards mounted units. Tatar cavalry archers come with extra line of sight. They get Parthian tactics, thumb ring for free, and some of their mounted units can be upgraded to get extra armor. Now their first unique unit is the Keshik, a medium cavalry unit that actually generates gold every time it pokes and prods at an opponent, which becomes very useful in the later stages of the game when this stuff becomes more and more scarce. Now, once your army is out on the battlefield, very important for the Tatars. Oh my goodness, this is a lot of high ground here, and it is important for them to take that high ground because instead of the usual 25% more damage, the Tatars do 50% more damage when they fight from the high ground. This becomes even more important in the later stages of the game when trebs start coming out, because Tatars can upgrade their trebs to get a nice +2 attack range boost, rather, which means a fully upgraded Tatar treb comes with a massive 19-tile range. Now, in order to help feed a big, hungry, cavalry-based army, Tatar herdables do contain 50% more food, and starting in Castle Age, any new town center that they create, that they build, does spawn 2 free sheep automatically, which, combined with what I just said, is about 300 extra food for free with every town center starting in Castle. Those are the two civilizations. 16 villagers is where we find ourselves right now. Let's see what the players have seen of the map. MbL doing a nice big circular exploration. The Viper as well, although it looks like he might be interested in heading out on the map. Let's take a look at their bases while the players continue foraging for food, gathering food, and trying to build their settlements to where they want to be before clicking up to Feudal Age. Our Saracen settlement, primary stone, exposed here against the Tatars. Very mobile civilization, so you're not really a ideal location for that stone, but primary gold also on a big open plain, but more to the back. So more easily defended if the Viper decides to wall this part off. We'll see. It's a pretty big wall off as he now moves forward with more lumberjacks. Where's that lumber camp? Where's that lumber camp? You've got 108 wood. There it is. Where are his additional resources? Oh man, they're all on one side. Additional 2 piles of gold, additional stone, and I see also more stone and a relic and a jaguar as well. So the Viper has a lot of resources concentrated here to the north of the map, which either will be very useful for him or very useful for MbL if he decides to apply pressure in the mid to late stages of the game once the Viper starts going out on the map to look for additional resources. Forests 1, 2, 3 in a nice triangle shape, so not a very difficult wall off to the sides, but to the front, the south of his base, completely open, and the Viper is already plopping down a house. Now, interestingly, this is, let me know what you think. The barracks all the way over here and the houses over here I thought maybe build your 2 houses here and the barracks over here. But I'm not one to question the Viper, even though he is back after being sick. We all wish him well, a very speedy recovery. And although I think he is recovered, I want to say. In any event, if he's not recovered, then we all wish him a very speedy recovery. If he is recovered, we're glad to have him back and back to playing ranked ladder as a mill gets plopped down. Both players now in feudal. Let's take a very quick look at our Tatar base. Primary gold also exposed out in the front. The Saracens also a pretty damn mobile civilization. Stone nice and secure in the back. Also 3 forests. His southern portion of the base is very open, but not exactly a direct avenue of attack for the Viper. So the forward portion and the side come pretty easy to wall this off. The Viper has seen this base. Has MbL seen the Viper's base? Yes, he has. Let's take a look at where MbL has a few additional resources. Looks like also 2 piles of stone to the south and gold and a relic. The only thing that he's missing is his tertiary gold, which is nice and out in front. I say nice sarcastically. That is an atrocious location for gold. Basically, one area you can place a mining camp, either here, I guess 2 or here. As the first kill of the game goes to this scout who manages to gun down an archer silly enough to try to take him on directly. And uh-oh, he's not done yet. MbL pulls a villager. Of course he does. Do not want to lose 2 archers to this one scout as he now gets the hell out of MbL's base. The Viper, having done his damage, having seen exactly what's what, is backing off. HP on the scout at about half as MbL's more hail scout chases him and gets a few pokes off. But we'll see if MbL's paying attention here. He is. Sees the spearman, immediately backs off. There's that market for the Saracens that only cost 75 wood. And I think I mentioned this before. The fact that this structure, that this 4x4 structure only costs 75 wood is an absolute gem for those who love to wall their bases off, especially quick wall, especially if you're, you know, I don't know, a palisade gate. Not that we're seeing any palisade gates. Why am I saying palisade gates? Palisade walls at the moment. But if there are palisade walls, and one of them comes under attack, a nice 4x4 structure behind it might be a pretty damn good thing to do, especially when it only costs 75 wood. So you can build it, your opponent sees it, your opponent runs away, because what the hell are you going to do against a 4x4 structure with an archer with only 4 range at the moment? And then you just cancel it, and you lose, what, 60? Sorry, you lose like 15 wood or something like that, 20 wood. Not exactly the end of the world if you're trying to keep your opponent at bay. Speaking of keeping your opponent at bay, MbL is here with 2 scouts, 3 archers. There are 3 spearmen and 2 skirmishers and a scout. Let's not count this scout. His HP is pretty damn bad. So the Viper has built a counter army to this. The skirmishers for the archers, the spearmen for the horsies. But the mobility here very much for our Tatar, who can just run to this side of the base. The problem is now he might be a little trapped here. The Viper also pivots. I don't know that you necessarily wanted to close this off. Maybe let MbL get in there and then get him with your skirmishers. Spearman dies. Looks like MbL has evened up the kill count. His archers are stronger, but they are countered by these skirmishers that attack on a massive 2. As the game of Feudal Age Tango begins, more archers, more scouts here. Take a look at that. Even the skirmishers come with a +3 attack bonus against buildings. I mean, what do you do when you're fighting against the Saracens? I guess you do exactly what MbL is doing here. You make sure they don't attack your structures if they have a bonus against structures by keeping them at home, by keeping them pinned back in this corner of the map. By the way, MbL, number 1, getting a good amount of exploration here, also seeing the additional stone and gold, so he knows now in the future where to apply the pressure. I mean, it's an expensive age of discovery here for our Tatar, who loses his entire army except for the 2 survivors. But he's got a few more units now streaming to the south of the Viper's base. And the Viper's primary fighting force here, 6 units, are all the way to the right. What does he have back home to defend this? Not much. More units moving out through the north exactly at the moment. MbL is poking in through the south. He saw this forest. He knows there's lumberjacks here. And so we'll see what kind of pressure he can put on as the Tatars here. And the Viper, 11 army count to 8. Exactly the same villager count. MbL is housed again. Oh my goodness. I don't know what to make of this. He's just, I think almost like every game that we cast, MbL is housed. I don't know if it's anecdotal or indicative. And what I mean by that is, I don't know, he plays endlessly MbL. He plays a lot of games, which is very, very respectable. So I don't know if it's just the games that I'm casting that he's housed, or I don't know if it's just an epidemic across the board. What I do know is that the Viper's a minute and a half away from Castle. MbL nowhere close, hasn't even started going up to Castle as the Viper now pushes forward. MbL continuing to put on the pressure in the back of the base here. He's got 400 food, 480 gold. He might want to start doing a little bit of eco balance. I see he got wheelbarrow off the back of 36 villagers. So his economy is going to be pretty roaring once he actually clicks up to the next age. And we'll see how long it takes him to click up once the Viper clicks. Or rather, once the Viper is shown to have gone up to the next age. And looks like the Viper here trying to get some work done of his own. And we've got ourselves a bit of a split screen situation as a scout dies. Oh, why do I always pan away at the worst times? The Viper is in Castle. MbL, 500 food, 600 gold. Is he just going to buy the food? Is he going to wait? What is he going to do as crossbows with Bodkin are about to show up in his base? Okay, I guess he's doing this. What exactly is this? I'm not too sure. Okay. The scout just kind of gave up on life. Just said, you know what? I've had enough. The Viper's buying stone so that he can plop down a second town center right as the last of MbL's aggression bites the dust. And there's the location for the second town center. Not too sure what these farmers are doing. Okay, there you go. Repurposed to be construction workers. Looks like these crossbows are catching out some basic skirmishers. And even though they come with an attack bonus, they are no match for the crossbows, especially on the high ground. Hey, Tatar, you're supposed to be on the high ground, not the Saracen. And by the way, speaking of the high ground, I'm going to zoom out. Look at this map. This is basically a Tatar's wet dream here. Look at the center of the map on the mini map, on the main map, wherever you're looking at. This is a whole lot of elevation. Ooh, but the Viper exploring while at the same time attempting to get to the back of MbL's base. And look at him. Now he's playing mind games where MbL pulled the Viper all the way over here. Now the Viper is trying to pull MbL all the way over here. This is 4 out of 7 army supply, and he is about to get hit. But oh my god, MbL senses that something is amiss. Something doesn't quite smell right on these barren, grassy plains. Can you be a barren, grassy plain? I guess so, right? Grass isn't naturally a non-barren thing, right? I don't know. The tower doesn't go up. MbL, he's gonna send a whole bunch of villagers. We'll see how many of these guys survive. Right now there's 8 of them. Okay, they all survive, and now the Viper's in a spot of trouble. Ooh, more archers moving forward in 4, 3, 2, 1. They are going to be in Castle Age. We'll see if they get upgraded as well to crossbows, or whether he is going to stick on archers for now. The Viper's plan kind of did, kind of didn't really work. The army here, the 4 army count, is now all gone. That being said, the Viper is being cleaned up to the north of the base. The Viper is being cleaned up, I'm assuming, soon here to the south. It looks like 2 crossbows died to what? The town center? Oh my god, 3 kills on the town center. So basic Feudal Age archers meet basic Feudal Age skirmisher. Skirmisher dies. Oh, goodness gracious. Now that the Tatar Knights are out, and these crossbows, who thought they were nice and safe here in a nook of death, finally do succumb to the Knight's sword as another one. Oh, this is going to be close. This is going to be close. Oh, actually, never mind. Okay. Oh my god. I thought it was going to be a lot closer than that. I guess this crossbow had a little bit of HP knockdown. It looks like our Saracen is on 3 town centers and naturally expanding into the north direction, because again, this is where there are a whole bunch of resources, but he hasn't seen the extra stone. Not that he really needs it at the moment. Has seen the extra gold, has seen the secondary stone, and that's enough for him for now. But look at this trap here. This Saracen skirmisher trap from 3 different directions. No ballistics means that these crossbows can just huff and puff and walk and march their way back out without taking too much damage. Although if they do stop like that to fire on villagers, then they risk dying. Forward siege workshop by our Tatar. Backwards university by our Saracen. He needs / wants to get ballistics, I'm assuming. Only one villager. Now we've got cav archers coming out. This is a bold choice against the Saracens. I mean, anything on a horse is a bold choice against the Saracen. Who's kidding who? I think I mentioned this in the last cast. I actually looked it up. And I believe somebody in the comments, correct me if I'm wrong, as you are always do and always appreciated. The Mameluke, in terms of the cost of gold, and why am I thinking of Mamelukes? Not that there's any indication the Viper's going Mamelukes. I mean, he's got 6 villagers on stone, so we're going to see a castle somewhere, but we have no real indication he's going Mameluke. But why am I talking about Mamelukes? Because our Tatar is going cavalry, and so the natural counter to that would be the Mameluke. So what I was about to say, good to know that I'm at least still got a little bit of it, that it's for ballistics. The Mameluke, in terms of gold cost, I think last game we had Saracens, I mentioned it's the second most expensive unique unit. I kind of did a little bit off the cuff looking. It's actually the most yikes. It's actually, in terms of gold, the most expensive unique unit that can be trained out of a castle, I believe. There's 3 of them that are all the same price in terms of gold, 85 gold. I think the Persian War Elephant, which is just ridiculous. The Roman Centurion, which is also a little strange, but given all the benefits you get for it, or with it, not that strange. And the Mameluke, all 3 of those units cost 85 gold. Now, obviously, they cost different food counts, but the Mameluke's more expensive than a Hussite wagon in terms of gold. It's more expensive than a ballista elephant. That just tells you something about, oh, redemption. He wants to convert these mangonels. So, the Viper's town center is under... And like I said, if I am mistaken, if I'm wrong, do let me know. But I do believe it is one of 3. So, technically the most expensive, but tied for first place with 2 other units. Backup town center going up here, but oh, MbL sniffs it out. Great gameplay out of our blue Tatar so far, with the preemptive tower suspecting that his opponent is pulling him off to the side, then sending one scout. You're not a scout. Cav archer over here, suspecting perhaps that the Viper is going to want to replant his town center somewhere. And there's a castle now. What the hell is this location? I get you don't want to put it anywhere in kind of forward-ish because there's cav archers and mangonels, but this is very back. Maybe over here? In any event, villagers disappear into here with ballistics. Now this castle is going to have a hell of a time getting these cav archers, but there's 3 mangonels. There is siege out. And look at that. 2 Mamelukes are being trained. How many villagers? 32 villagers on gold. Okay, gold is definitely not going to be a problem for our Saracen. Might want to put a mining camp over here as well, just to make your gold mining a little more inefficient. Not inefficient, efficient. Looks like a converted mangonel did bite the dust against its former teammates. And the skirmishers do manage to get a cav archer. The 2 knights from before are still here now, zoned out by no fewer than 8 skirmishers. So our Saracen doubling down on monk techs. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the Saracen monk tech tree is pristine. They do get all of the upgrades for their monks. Ooh, a very, very dicey game here. The monk trying to convert the mangonel. The cav archers trying to snipe him as he does. The skirmishers trying to snipe the cav archers as the cav archers try to snipe the monk who's trying to convert the mangonel. It is an absolute mess. Bedlam here at the front of the Viper's base, although not exactly the front. I guess you could call this the front. The northern front, not the south. I guess this would be the southern front, and this would be the northern front. 2 Mamelukes being trained, just kind of hanging out here. Attack bonus against cavalry should be a 9 right now. Yeah, there it is, 9. But their tankiness, their HP is really just ridiculous. And by the way, the Viper still doesn't have bloodline, so they're not maxed out yet with their 80 HP. Remember, camel units for the Saracens get 25% more HP, so their 80 jumps up to 100. And now with bloodlines, if we're lucky enough to see one more, I'm assuming we're going to see more because he's training bloodline, or he's researching bloodlines. It's going to jump up to a 120. And then I believe 133 for the elite. By Maristan. Let's see it in action. Not something we've seen very often. Ooh, might need it here if these knights and these cav archers continue to make an issue and continue to poke in. Ooh, that was so scary. By Maristan still 11 seconds away. A cav archer gets converted, gets killed immediately. The Viper doing an amazing job holding back this incredibly expensive, incredibly powerful army with just a handful of trash. Now, by Maristan, keep an eye out. I am going to be releasing a video in the next few days. By Maristan is the latest in a set of mechanics introduced into Age of Empires 2 that are aura based. So this monk, if it showed his aura, the By Maristan aura, like a full work, you would see 5 tiles in each direction and in a big circle. And any unit in here, 75 HP per minute. Oh, okay. Now look at their HP. 240, 260, 270, 280. And that applies even if the monk is converting another unit, even if the monk is carrying a relic, even if the monk is doing anything. It is just automatic and passive. And by the way, applies to all units. Look at their HP. They're back to full health. I mean, he's got to be careful. He's taking a whole bunch of mangonel shots to the face. Is the Viper. I see there's a bit of action to the south of the Viper's base, but I cannot peel my eyes away because this mangonel here at any moment might do exactly that. This is a game-changing unit. Oh, and there we go. I am so glad now I can peel away. Okay, it looks like the Mamelukes did manage to get a few of those knights and cav archers that were down here, but what a fantastic, I want to say smush, but that means something different in Age of Empires. We're not watching the Slavs here. And now all of a sudden, the Viper's forward position is completely exposed. Oh, he's trying to zone out these cav archers. So funny. So funny. If they were only on attack move, they would have killed that villager. The Viper getting perhaps another conversion. Yeah, it looked like MbL reacted a little bit too slow and he guns down his own former units. Random villager here trying to join the battle. Not too sure why. Ooh, Mangonel survives because it's on the high ground. It's targeting skirmishers as the Mangonel guns it down. Behind all this, castle's at 84%. Who will win? I'm biting my nails. Oh my god. 96% complete. And our Tatar manages to stop. Is there any follow-up villager push? Yes, there is. No fewer than 6. Never mind. They're going, I guess, to farm. Now, the rush here is not on the Viper. He does not need to rush to build this castle. It's got 5,000 HP. It is not going anywhere to these cav archers that attack and basically do 1 damage to this castle. Maybe even less because it's on the high ground. But the Viper here, he's got Mamelukes. And Mamelukes are pretty damn quick and pretty damn fast attacking. And again, the cav archers do come. I'll take a look in a second. I'm like 99.99% sure, much like this castle, that the cav archers do come with cavalry armor. There it is, cavalry 0, which means this +9 attack against cavalry is going to absolutely shred them to pieces. And iron casting as well. So now these Mamelukes will attack on a +2. Another castle going up. And by the way, MbL sees exactly where this castle is going up. It sees exactly that the stone is going to get gathered. And now the Viper doesn't want any nonsense like before. He sends no fewer than 18 villagers to claim that land and build that castle. Ooh, I mean, MbL is doubling down on cavalry units. Why not build a few camels? Now, Mamelukes, their attack bonus is against cavalry, horses, not against camels. Although, Edelweiss, you did point out that they do come in the elite version with a +1 attack against other Mamelukes, which are technically camel units. And there's, by the way, the 2 free sheep with 50% more food. So 300 food over there. What's going to pop out of you? A Mangonel. So I'm not too sure why MbL is doubling down on cav archers, step lancers right now. I mean, he's heading up to Imperial about 30 seconds ahead of his opponent. Maybe the Step Lancers are just to clean up all of these little attempts to penetrate his base. It looks like a few villagers did die here. 4 of them to the scimitars of the Mameluke. Oh, I missed it popping out and getting gunned down. I do apologize. Man, oh man. Let's see some Tatar camels. Now, the Tatars in Imperial Age are not without their defenses against this unit. Now, the Mameluke, you might think, why is such a perfect unit allowed to exist in this game? It just guns down anything and everything in its path. It's got 120 HP. And I think in the elite, like I said, 90 plus 25% of 90, which is like 112.5, but I think it gets rounded up to 113. I mean, just look at this. This unit refuses to die. You might be thinking again, why is this unit allowed to exist? Because it's redonkulously expensive. It does finally die. Well, let's take a look at the upgrades on these Cav Archers. But I am really surprised that our Tatar is not training camels right now. Tatar camels are, correct me if I'm wrong, pretty damn fully upgraded. Their blacksmith upgrades are there. Their stable upgrades are there. Castle is up. Siege workshop down. And now he's working away at that monastery. Oh, sour there for MbL as his villager is temporarily delayed by the presence of some jaguars. Oh, he's doubling down on range now. Okay. Fair enough. I should point out, Mameluke, big weakness. Even the elite version suffers from this huge weakness, which is its absolute shite range. 3 range for the base and the elite models means that these Tatar Cav Archers with 7 range technically don't really ever need to take a fight. They can just attack. The Mameluke does move a little bit faster right now. Surprised that these Cav Archers, where's the husbandry? I wonder if MbL is going to notice. Okay, he's on the high ground as well, which means he's going to do a lot more damage. The Viper, by the way, take a look at the minimap. He is securing the center, all of the high ground. Look at this Maginot line of castles for our Saracen. He does not want any raiding at all. He knows he's up against an incredibly fast civilization, although not quite as fast as they could be here, moving at 1.4 instead of 1.54 tiles per second. MbL missing that upgrade, the old husbandry I just mentioned. 2 Trebs are out. Both players are in Imperial. Looks like both are starting to attack into one another. A whole bunch of dead villagers here for our Saracen. Look at these stats. I love this unit. 12 attack against cavalry. And by the way, attack speed of 2-second delay, which is a pretty... I've said this before. Usually counter units attack slower than the unit that they're meant to counter. Pikemen attack slower than a knight. Skirmisher attacks slower than an archer. But the Mameluke, I mean, sure, it does attack slower than a melee cavalry unit by, I think, 0.1 or 0.2, which is not that big of a difference. Oh my goodness. Heavy Cav Archers are out now. If they were Magyar, he'd have a slight advantage with a bigger range, but no, 7's good. There's finally that husbandry. So he's going to be able to run away from these Mamelukes. Okay, so there we go. MbL has to rely on the fact that these Mamelukes are expensive, but the Viper still has 19 villagers on gold. MbL has 34. So he needs to find a way, and Jaguars aside, to stop the Viper from getting any more gold, which is going to be difficult because if you see the minimap, the Viper is everywhere. He's even about to take a sheep. Where's the second one? No, just the one Baba Blue sheep over here. Oh, okay. Okay, this is a good second prize, a good silver medal here instead of the gold mining. I mean, look at this. Look at this. What the hell? Building attack bonus of 0, and it still absolutely shreds structures to pieces. Ooh, and good luck there for the Viper, stumbling upon this castle being built right as it goes down. And oh my god, all those villagers. And what other unit can survive such a barrage of arrow fire and only lose one of it itself? One of itself? Now with Bimaristan, look at the HP at the bottom. It went from 2990 to 3007 right as a monk. All he had to do was walk by. It's such a ridiculous. I mean, how are the Saracens not one of the top civilizations in terms of win rate? Is it just because they're that expensive and you have to have literally, take a look at the mini map, the entire map's worth of resources? The Viper is, oh my god, gunning down villagers to the south. He's attacking archery ranges to the north. He's pushing in through the west with more. How about 53 Mamelukes? Oh, MbL, you gotta... No, you gotta take the high ground. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no! Oh, he's getting taken to Pound Town. Oh, he doesn't even stick around to see it. Oh my god. What an absolute disgusting surround. I mean, look at the HP difference. There's a 2,400 more HP on these Mamelukes. Their pierce armor, their melee armor at 4, it's not great. Wow, MbL just doubling down on the cav archers, but all... Now tell me somebody, if you convert Tatar herdables, do you also get 50% more food in them? Does this now give you 150 food instead of 100? I see it says 100. I'm not too sure how that Tatar herdable works. All these different economic bonuses are worded differently. And I really do wonder, because it does say 100. Where's that blue sheep? No, now it's yellow. Actually, let me go back a hot minute here. Yeah, you see, it still says 100, even though the bonus is that Tatar herdables contain 50% more food. In any event, a question for the sages of Age of Empires. Wow. I mean, you guys know I fanboy over the Saracens, particularly this unit. So it's always fun to see it in action. MbL didn't go camels. And like I said, the Tatars are not without their defenses against the Mameluke. I can, off the top of my head, think of 3. None of them are cheap. None of them are cheap at all. You either upgrade to heavy camels, you either get hand cannoneers and mix them in with those heavy camels, or you go flaming camels. But for that, you need Timorrid Siegecraft, and for that, you need a bunch of resources, especially wood and gold. And what did he have? No wood, no gold. Wow, but instead he doubles. I mean, I say expensive. Fully upgrading these cav archers is not cheap either, although remember, Thumbring, Parthian Tactics 4 free. Their armor, it doesn't look like... what am I thinking? Silk armor. Why do I always confuse the name of that upgrade with Silk Road? Silk armor doesn't look like it was researched for them, so their armor is not ideal. But I mean, armor doesn't really play a role when your opposing unit attacks with a plus 12 bonus. And the Viper has just played the Saracens basically perfectly. I would have loved to see some siege a little bit more, maybe in addition to these 4 trebs that are here. Maybe some siege onagers. You gotta love the 15% attack bonus against siege onagers. Oh, and look at that. I missed counterweights. So counterweights adds 15% attack to their mangonels, their onagers, and their trebs. I shouldn't say mangonels and onagers, it's the same thing. Mangonel line and their trebs. So now it attacks on a 230 and building bonus of 288 up from 250. So that's just, I mean, like I said, the Saracens, what a powerful, powerful civilization. And now with the Bimaristan monks that can just hang around and heal your units passively. And by the way, if there was a Bimaristan monk, let's say right here, not that there ever would be, all of these units get healed automatically at the exact same time at 75 HP per minute, which is more than 1 HP per second, which is ridiculous. In any event, let's take a look at the stats. 89 Mamelukes. Oh, I love to see it. 109 Cav Archers, which again, you like to see. But you know what you don't see here is any kind of elevation. There's a little bit here, it looks like. So a few of these Cav Archers are attacking. So 11 would become what? 16 and a half, 17, depending on the rounding. But yeah, look at that. 89 Mamelukes, 109 Cav Archers. If this fully upgraded was to fight this fully upgraded, I would venture to guess that there would be maybe 45 to 50 Mamelukes left after they kill all 109. That's just how powerful I think that unit is. PKPM for the Viper right at the end, almost approaching Hera levels. PKPM also towards the end at 135 for our Tatar economy. Oh, goodness gracious. That is a 30% bigger economy for our Saracen, who collects all of the resources and a little bit of relic gold, even though he's got 4. So what are we working with here? About 2.5 castles worth of stone, about 2,000 gold, 9,000, 11,000 food. Yeah, I can do math. And okay, wood, not exactly the most relevant for him. So I'm surprised our Tatar didn't take the lead here. Conversion 7 out of 161 is nothing to write home about, under 5%. Let's take a look at the kills. 188 to 155, 53 to 38. And at the end of the day, these Mamelukes are just way too omnipresent. They're everywhere. They're here to the south, where, by the way, the Viper has pushed back MbL's infrastructure significantly. And this, I think, really, if he could have avoided this battle, maybe he would have lasted a little bit longer. Although with the villager disparity of about 30 villagers. Actually, let's see, right before the game ended. Yeah, no, they both had 18 idols. So it would still be a 30 villager disparity. But this was just atrocious. That was just an absolute trap that was set, but not by the Viper. I don't think the Viper set this. I don't think he intended this to happen, but he did pounce on it. And that is the awesome, awesome game sense you get when you have players that are like this. And in the middle of all of this, the Viper channels his inner Mr. Yo and gets that 5th relic. But I mean, what the hell do you do when you have a Saracen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 freaking castles like this, and he controls almost the entirety of the map? This is like when you give the Poles control of the map and you let them get to castle and get Schlachta. Like, good luck to you. Good luck to you, unless you came with a mod that gave you 40 Kamayuks for free. You are a dead player. And MbL here just gave way too much map control to the Viper, which, by the way, placed his castles fantastically. I mean, I questioned the location of this one, and I kind of still do. Not really, no zerglings streaming in from the ether here, but the placement of these castles essentially ensures that MbL cannot attack into the Viper's base without taking damage. And for a civilization, like I said, with Keshiks for raiding, with Cav Archers for sniping from 7 range, especially with the high ground, and there's a lot of high ground around these villagers. Did the Viper just kill his own units so that he could... Yeah, he must have killed his own units for population space. Yeah, okay, there you go. But look at that. MbL just can't penetrate through the south. You can't even go around this way because there's a castle here. You can't go through the center because there's 3 castles here. Literally 1, 2 narrow paths of attack permitted here by the Viper, who, with a castle here, by the way, would be 100% protected. We've seen Hera do this with the Teutons, with the Crenellation castles. We've seen a lot of players do this against the Magyars, for example, who are super, super light on their feet, against the Cumans, who are even lighter on their feet and quicker. And now against the Tatars, the Viper just makes sure that he is absolutely safe at home, pumps out using his incredible resource lead, a 30% bigger total resource collection count, to just pump out this unstoppable, fully upgraded unit. And there you go, 133. So I think it goes from 90, and then it adds that to that 25%, which takes it to 112.5, which rounds up to 113. And then it adds the 20 for bloodlines to get 133 HP. The Cav Archer attacks on an 11. The Mameluke has 4 armor, 7 damage. To this means that you literally need 19 Cav Archers to snipe 1 Mameluke, while the Mameluke needs... Oh, let's do this one last fanboy experiment, and then we'll end the cast. It attacks on a 14. You've got 4 armor, so you do 10 damage plus 12 bonus, so 22 damage against 80 HP. So 4 attacks versus 19. 4 attacks versus 19. And like I said, the attack speed isn't that different. 1.8 second delay for the Cav Archer and 2 for the Mameluke, which I think really is the backbone of why it's such a deadly unit, because that attack is just so fast. It's an infantry level attack with crazy bonuses. And with that crazy bonus, with that crazy unit, with this beautiful, beautiful Mameluke, it is the Viper who just stops MbL from being able to do any kind of damage while he himself gobbles up all the resources on the map. All of the resources in the north have been gobbled up, taken, and now he's killing villagers. He's so rich, he doesn't even need them. More space for these Mamelukes. And with the Mamelukes, it is the Viper who is victorious, but GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.